Hello and welcome to the Embroidered Elephant channel. My name is Kim and this is episode number 28, I think. This is a podcast to talk about all of the projects that I completed in October. So it is a week late, but hopefully, fingers crossed, I will have edited and uploaded this video ready for the second weekend of November, which will be the 8th, I think. This hopefully should be out on the 8th. So how has everyone been? I hope that you have been well. Work has been busy but good. And in terms of videos, I am still sort of ramming through getting all of the videos filmed and edited and scheduled so that you will consistently have some videos every day in December, which is great. So I'm on track for that. I'm hoping in November to get quite a few more videos done, but it is proving to be quite difficult because it is a really busy month. We have a lot of plans on the weekends, which will be lovely to see family, especially before Christmas. And there are quite a few Thursdays and Fridays where I don't predominantly work, where I will also be busy with different plans, doing different things. But good, great, but I may not have as much time to crochet as I did in October. So in October, I did do quite a lot of projects. I decided to have a month of destashing. So I was crocheting through my scrap yarn, the yarn that I didn't really like as much, the yarn that was just sort of hanging around and I didn't really want to use it or didn't have any projects for it. And I thought that if I got a lot of the scrappy yarn out of the way and done with, I would then be able to focus on more projects that I want to do and not feel any guilt about it, or not feel. So for example, because I've got so much yarn, when I get through a crocheting project, rather than going, yes, I spent all this time on this project and I've got it done, how amazing, like it took so many hours, I am getting through a project and thinking, right, what can I crochet next because I've got so much yarn, which is not the way it should be, but yeah. Anyway, as I said, October was a very busy month, so it was mine and my husband's first anniversary, wedding anniversary. I gave him his crocheted flowers, which I think both of the videos are up for now. And he liked them. I've put them on the shelf. I think he wanted to move them next to his bed, but I will have to remind him or ask him if he does want them to be moved or not. But yeah, he really enjoyed it, so that was good, and he understood the significance of them as well, which was a relief. Yeah, so that was very nice. We had a lovely meal out at a restaurant a little while from us, where we had a lot of our first dates, or we periodically go to when we've got date night. So yeah, for special occasions. I caught up with a lot of friends and family as well, and yeah, apart from that, very positive. Yeah, not really much to share, to be completely honest. So this podcast will probably be a little bit different to normal because I have already made videos for all the projects in this video. So I won't be going through all of the highs and the lows, the process, how much yarn I used, etc. I will just sort of be going through the basics of what I've done. To save time as well, I will be putting a link to all the projects below, but I won't necessarily write the name and the project details in sort of a little caption. It might be that they're just below. I may add it, I may not, depending on how much time I get this afternoon. I'm literally filming and editing today. I've got like 2 or 3 hours to do it, which sounds like a lot of time, but it's honestly not. Yeah. Mainly because I have to edit out all of the ums, the ahs, the breaks, the brain fog, everything like that. But yeah, I love the process. It will just be a bit quick today. That is all. So let me begin. So I will start with the crochet projects I've done. As I said, I have got a video for all of these, and after I go through all of the projects I've done, I will go through the books that I've read. So the first thing that I did was to make this crochet T-Rex, which is Gregor the mini T-Rex, and this is a Toft project. I believe that the video is going to come out at some point in December, probably in the first week or couple of weeks, but I don't know 100%. He was quite an easy project. In the video that I will be uploading soon, or in December, I have given a couple of hints and little tricks that I used, and because I got caught out on something that was probably an easy mistake, but I had to rip back quite a bit of it. Didn't take me too long. I think it took me under 5 hours, but again, have a look at the video when it comes out for more information. But yeah, he was the first project I did in October. So that is the Toft Gregor the mini T-Rex pattern. The next projects I made, as said, I made them all from scrap yarn. They won't necessarily be in the same order in the video as they are down in the description, but bear with. I don't have a link for any of this yarn because I have no idea where it's come from. I know where little bits come from, but again, not a lot. So the first thing I made was this, and this was an idea that I'd had for quite a while, to use a doily and to make a bag. The initial pattern I had looked at was to make a bag like this, but I don't really use clutch bags. I don't really have dresses that are this colourful either, and I really wanted to use this yarn, especially because it was in such a gradient colourway. Just so happened to be. This yarn was from my husband's late grandma, or nan. So yeah, this was quite easy. I didn't follow the pattern exactly. I changed some of it because I wanted to use as much yarn as possible, and luckily I had enough to make a cover for my laptop with, so that's what it is. The doily, I used the pattern, but I think I increased too much. I used the pattern for the inside bit and then sort of grew it out, but I think I messed up a little bit on the increases, which is fine. So it's a little bit wider than it should be, hence why I sort of cut it short at the end rather than continuing all the rounds. Hopefully that makes sense, because it was just increasing, so it would have been so frilly and probably wouldn't have shut. The only thing that I need to do for this is to add a button to the front, and then it will be perfect. So yeah, first scrappy project. Next thing I made was this. Looks a bit strange. So this is quite scrappy. This is a pot holder. So when I take lunch to work, I will put the glass jars in here, or the glass containers, Pyrex dishes in here. Or if I take any cooked goods to friends or families, I can pop them in here again. It's just easier to carry. Hopefully it will prevent me from dropping it, or if I do bang it or anything like that, it's less likely to break because it's got this thick protection. But yes, very scrappy. I loosely based it on the pattern below, which is I think is by Lion Brand. I also adapted it because I only had 2 rings rather than 3, so yeah, that had to be adapted as well. If I made it again, I would make the edges shorter because it doesn't necessarily sit straight when there's something in it. It's really hard to demonstrate, but it doesn't necessarily sit straight. So yeah, or I would actually follow the pattern by using much smaller yarn, which I think they used DK, whereas I used a mix of chunky and DK. But yeah, that's what it looks like from the top. Next thing I made were some crochet frogs. I had some hand-dyed yarn that I really wanted to use, but I didn't want to just use it in a scrappy project, so I made some frogs. So I've got this is the first one I made, which used about 6 grams I think. Next I doubled the yarn over and made this chunky frog because I wanted to finish the yarn off. And I still had some yarn left, so I made another frog, but I made him a lot longer to hopefully finish the yarn off. I have a couple of grams left, but nothing major. So yeah, 3 frogs. But then I made, I think it was this scrap basket that I made next. So as it sounds, used up a lot of scrap. So this was the bottom. So I used a mix of 3 to 4 different DK weights. So at the bottom I started with 3 strands I think, and then as different yarns ran out I replaced them with either one or two different strands. Some of these strands were thicker, some were thinner, so I just adjusted that. I did decrease quite a bit because it was just taking a long time. It absolutely ate the yarn, which was great. I was so happy they ate so much yarn. This is going to be in my room, and now that I've shown it to you I can actually use it. I tend to keep projects to the side because otherwise I forget what projects I've done, what projects I haven't done, and I just forget to show you. So yeah, I will be using this for my works in progress. I think any planned projects I will just pop in here so that they are out of the way. Maybe. I will see. So yes, that's what that is for. The next project I made was this hair bow. So this was using cotton yarn. I really love it. I think I am going to add it to a clip though, so that I can clip it into my hair rather than tying it, because I think it would just be wonky. So that's one. I made this, which is a ribbon, but I'm going to use it as a ribbon for my hair. I made a red ribbon as well, which is again the same as the yellow, just a long strip of crocheted yarn. I have red dresses, white dresses, and I've got a few mustard dresses as well, which this will go really nice with, so I'm looking forward to that. It just reminds me of some of those, so I haven't worn it recently. This isn't finished yet. I need to block it. I said that during the video, I still haven't blocked it. This eventually is going to be a present bow. So you know the sort of fluffy ones that sit on top of a present? Hopefully I'll put a picture up. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. I am making one of those. I just need to block it so that it is straighter and then sew it together and it will be finished. I've got one so far. I would like to make some more, but they do take a little while to do. It's not difficult at all. It's literally just chain, double crochet, finished. It's really easy. It's just the amount that you need to make. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different strips. I mean, when I say it like that, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it took me a while. So that is done. I made another scrap basket that is a bit smaller, and I made this with thicker yarn and darker yarn. I'm not as keen on this one, just because I prefer brighter colours rather than sort of greys, browns, blacks. But it's still quite nice and it's very usable. So I am going to find something different to use with this. So I've still got my scrap yarn out, so I might use it as that, or I might use it as a little project basket so that I can carry it around the house and it's sort of more out of the way. But yes, all of that, and I made a squid. So this was quite a fun project, or it had potential to be quite a fun project. this was not against the project at all. The project was really easy and I got it done fairly quickly as well. In terms of the colours, I was using a magic ball that I had bought from another crocheter, so I have no idea what colours are in there, how long they are, anything like that. So I was really excited to see how many colours I could make with this. Unfortunately, I only used 2 different colours. So I've got this sort of dark purple, which is, it looks a bit brown on camera, but it's sort of a very dark blackberry purple, nearly black to be honest, and this greeny, browny, yellowy sort of yarn, which I don't know if it goes the best together. I did have sort of 2 of the tentacles that are three of the tentacles that are purple, and then the rest of them are green, so hopefully they go all right together. But yeah, so that was the last project I made. So compared to other months, I have done a lot more projects. I have got in total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 finished projects. I've just realised that I have some more to show you as well. So I've got 3 more, which makes 15, doesn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I finished 15 projects this month of varying sizes, but I've got so much yarn that I've used. So the last thing to show you are these sort of flower shaped pot protectors. So they are so easy to do. Rather than using DK yarn, because it would have taken more time, I use this really chunky yarn. Some of it is acrylic, some of it is cotton, some of it is unknown. But yeah, so I've got this one, and this one. And these also need to be blocked before I use them. You could argue that no one's going to see them, so they don't need to be blocked. But if you're going to put a pan down, if it's all sort of hanging like that, it's probably not going to do its job properly. So yeah, they do need to be blocked. So I've got a few things to be blocked, but yes. It was actually 16 projects because I forgot to put the present bow on there. So 16 finished projects, which is great. So yeah, I got through so much yarn this month. I used a lot of scrap yarn. I did a planned project as well. I'm pretty happy with a lot of what I did, to be honest. In October, in November for planned projects, I will be working probably quite furiously to get a couple of other projects done. I won't have as busy a month as this one because I've got planned projects. So I have got a present to crochet for my dad, which is a Snoopy, and I've got a present to crochet for my husband, which is a SpongeBob. There is also a glove pattern that I've wanted to make for years, at least 2 years, at least one or two, I think. Years, so I will try and get them done. I think my priority is going to be on the crochet present for my dad and to get the gloves done, because my hands are already super cold in the mornings and in the evening, so I need something to warm my hands up. And I am making a video with the project, so I would like to get that done and edited so that you guys can sort of see what I've made as well. So those are the main priorities for me for November, is to get Snoopy done and to get the gloves done. In terms of SpongeBob, he will probably wait until December. I'm not confident that I will get many more presents done or projects done in December, just because I'm running out of time. As I said, I am quite busy in November and December seeing different family members. On the days that I don't have work, which is Thursday and Friday, I am also quite busy as well. I've got different plans. I've yeah, filming videos will be my main priority rather than doing projects. But fingers crossed, I will get a couple more projects done during the month so that I've got something to show you at the end of the month. But yes, the second part of this video will be going through the books I finished this month. So unfortunately this month I did only finish 3 books. I wanted to try and finish 5 books a month, but it just wasn't possible. Oh. Did I kill you? No, probably not. So I was going to try and finish 5 books this month so that I could make 5 squares, and then it would be sort of quite a round number when I finish all of the squares. But it didn't happen, unfortunately. I finished 3 books. So let me talk you through them. I will say that the books that I read this month are quite triggering, or they were quite triggering. So just bear that in mind as I sort of talk about them. So book number 66 is You Are Mine, and it is by Isabel Erikson. I started reading it on September the 29th and I finished it on October the 2nd. So this is a book about Isabel. It is set in Sweden. She was working as an escort and she met a man through work. They met, then they arranged to meet again. He arranged to come to her house. They would have a drink together and then they would go out to a works meal, I believe. They have a drink together. She finds it a little bit strange, but she goes along with it because she's met him before and she trusts him. She's got quite strong or strict boundaries. She met up with him. They were at her house. She woke up and she wasn't necessarily aware at the start, but she had been kidnapped and she woke up in a bunker with a needle in her arm. This book is based around her experience of what's happened, putting different pieces into place of how she got there, what happened, who this man is, and her eventual escape from him. It's really interesting because it highlights her thoughts throughout. It is something that hopefully not a lot of us, if any of us, will hopefully ever experience, and it was just interesting to hear her words and see how it happened and hear her thoughts throughout the process and different things like that. She was held, I can't remember how long it was. I believe it was under a week, but I'm not 100% sure. It also goes through the process of her speaking to the police and how that went as well. So it was really, really interesting. Again, I would give you a trigger warning. It's not the most pleasant book to read, but it's not as bad as you might think, if that makes sense. It's very creepy, very strange. There's a lot of emotional manipulation and coercion and abuse, I would say. But yeah, read it with caution. It's quite a short book as well, so I got through it fairly quickly and it held my interest as well. So here is the book cover for You Are Mine with the square, and this is the square. So the next book that I read was The Elephant Girl, and I actually listened to this on podcast through the library. It is by James Patterson and Ellen Banda-Aaku. It was book number 67. So it is quite a short book. It is about a girl named Gemma. She is quite young. I can't remember exactly how old she is. And she lives in, I believe, Kenya. She doesn't really enjoy the classroom gossip, or sort of doesn't have the best of friends either. So she goes for walks after school, and she has started getting close to a pride of, is it a pride of elephants? A group of elephants. And she watches them very often, and one day the main elephant she has a baby that she calls Mbegu. So throughout the story, Gemma sees some poachers approaching the elephants. She becomes quite scared, understandably, and the story is about her and how she deals with that, and how she deals with quite an influential person in her village being involved in the poaching, and how she sort of brings people around. So there is a threat to her life. Something happens to some family members as well. So it's a fairly easy reading book. There is a few things that happens, but there's not sort of like big themes that I would give you trigger warnings for. It's quite good. It entertained me. It did take me a bit longer to get through, just because I didn't find it as interesting as other books I've read or that I was reading at the time. It took me probably about a week or so to get through it, but to be honest, I didn't write down exactly what date I finished, so that's a bit of a shame. But yeah, finished the book, which is great. This is the book cover, and this is the square that goes with it. Now, the last book that I read in October was this one. So it is The Favourite Girl by Monika Arya. Monika Arya, and it is book 68. Now, this book comes with a lot of trigger warnings, and I don't say that lightly. Just off the top of my head, it comes with themes of sexual assault, trafficking, imprisonment, manipulation, starvation, death, physical abuse. There's lots and lots and lots of trigger warnings that go with it. I would highly recommend, if you are interested in reading the book, that you go online and look at the trigger warnings. Monika Arya has her own website, so I would look at the trigger warnings on there before reading the book. It is quite dark. It wasn't too dark for me, but I could understand that it will be quite triggering for a lot of people. So the main character, Demi, is quite young, and she is living very, very rough. So she's living in a motel room. She's literally living penny to penny, or cent to cent, because it's set in America, where she's really struggling for money. She sometimes cuts a Twinkie into 3 so that she has enough food to get by, rather than obviously eating normally. And she sees an advert in the paper to be a live-in maid / receptionist. She decides to go for it. She figures, I haven't got anything to lose. I have no money, nowhere to live. I haven't got enough money to get me into a motel room sort of in a couple of days. So what have I got to lose? I'll go for it. She does end up getting the job, and she begins the job by signing a contract that is very strange. There's lots of things in there that she questions, but unfortunately, because she hasn't got much of a choice, she has to sign it. So she ends up signing it. Then things just get weirder and weirder and weirder. I can't say too much about the story because I wouldn't want to spoil it for anyone that does want to read it. But I would say that the family that she decides to work for isn't a nice family by any means. They are very manipulative. They, are very abusive. There's a lot that goes on. So yeah, there is a second book as well that I am currently reading that is probably more messed up than the first one. I think messed up is the best way that I can say it. But it's entertaining, and I would like to know how the series ends. So yeah, I'm getting through that at the moment. But yeah, I would strongly recommend you look at any trigger warnings before you read it. But yeah, this is the book cover, and this is the book square. And that about covers my October in a nutshell, really. So made a lot of scrappy projects, finished the T-Rex, finish 3 books, and that's about it. As I said, my planned projects will be to get Snoopy done and to get a pair of gloves done for myself. Anything else that I complete is a bonus, but those are my main priorities. And hopefully getting through quite a few books, although I haven't been reading much this month so far. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. As I said, keep an eye out. Every week I will have new videos up about different projects I've done, and in December I will have a video up every single weekday with different projects, different tips, advice, things such as my crafty goals, which I love doing every year. And yeah, that's about it, to be honest. So thank you very much for watching this video, and until next time, take care. Bye.